Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
First at 6, luxury and forced labor. New details emerging in the case against 2 church leaders accused of operating a forced labor and money laundering scheme. David Taylor, the leader of Kingdom of God Global Church, is still awaiting extradition to Michigan.
And Michelle Brannon, his executive director, was released on bond and is now on house arrest as she waits for trial. Local 4 investigator Noelle Friel joining us now with the very latest on this case. Noelle, these new court documents are giving us a much clearer picture of how Brannon was living before her arrest.
That's right. At the time of her arrest, prosecutors say that Brannon was living in a multi-million-dollar mansion in Tampa owned by the church, along with around 57 other church workers, many of whom they say were being forced to raise donations without pay and sleeping on the floor. Meanwhile, they say Brannon had her own lavishly furnished multi-bedroom suite. Now, as she awaits federal trial, she'll be staying at a home that's being paid for, at least for the time being, by church members. Michelle Brannon will stay on home incarceration at this 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom home in Northville, a home that Brannon's attorney says is being rented out by members of Kingdom of God Global Church. In court, the judge gave Brannon 30 days to find someone else to pay for the apartment in order for her to continue staying here. We tried to question Brannon outside the courthouse after she was released on bond. Your attorneys say that you were under David's control. Is that right? Is that accurate? Do you have anything that you want to say? Anything about the punishments? The government says you were the one to give them out? In new court documents, prosecutors say even with the ministry's call centers shut down, the church is still actively raising donations that Brannon could be given access to. In a broadcast on September 14th, one worker asked for donations, stating, quote, "We're in a war, and it's time for you to decide if you're a warrior or not." The documents show how Brannon was living at the church's Tampa mansion at the time of her arrest. In her multi-bedroom suite, investigators found $500,000 in gold bars stashed in a closet, $60,000 cash, expensive jewelry, designer clothes, even foreign currency. While raiding that Tampa mansion, investigators found evidence of thousands of sexually explicit photos and videos they say victims were forced to send to Taylor. Prosecutors even say Brannon herself was at times romantically involved with Taylor over her 12-year relationship with him. Brannon's bond conditions prohibit her from having contact with anyone from the church, and it also includes GPS and computer monitoring. She's scheduled to go to trial on November 18th. We also reached out to Brannon's attorney, who declined to comment until after her trial. Reporting live, Noelle Friel, Local 4.
For that update, Noelle, we appreciate it.
And now we go to a Local 4 update. While investigators work on a motive for the Grand Blanc church attack, we're now learning the suspect had a strange run-in with a different church in the days before the attack. The leaders at River Church in Goodrich say the shooter went to a gathering there just a week before the attack. This is video from after the attack. He apparently wanted his son to be baptized at that church, but became agitated and then left before that could happen. Days later, the gunman, as you know now, rammed his truck into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, killing 4 people and injuring 8 others. There's been so many fundraisers for the victims of this horrible attack, and hundreds of thousands of dollars has already been raised. You can learn how to help or get the latest on the investigation all in one spot on our website, clickondetroit.com. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen, and that will take you to all of our coverage.
A Detroit police officer is facing serious charges tonight. Lincoln Park police say Shane Shaw allegedly forced his way into a neighbor's home and assaulted them. This happened Saturday night, it all stemming from an argument over parking. Shaw now faces multiple charges, including home invasion, assault, and resisting arrest. He's currently out on a tether while awaiting his next court appearance.
It's been almost 2 weeks since a Utica mother lost her life in a violent case of domestic abuse.
Tonight, Victor Williams is live as family and friends come together to honor her. Victor.
Yeah, hey there, Kimberly and Ty. You know, family and friends are going to be here shortly. We know a lot of them are still devastated. We've even heard from a few as they've been making their way inside of Great Bear View Brewing Company. That's where this vigil is going to be happening tonight. But like we said before, they're all going to be remembering 23-year-old Fatme Davis, more affectionately known as Stella Davis. Sadly, she was beaten and stabbed to death allegedly at the hands of her soon-to-be ex-husband at a gas station station in Shelby Township. Now, 25-year-old Sydney Davis has now been charged with first-degree murder. Police say the crime stemmed from an argument during the exchange of their one-year-old son at that gas station. Sydney allegedly took off but was later captured in Armada Township. Ultimately, he was denied bond when it was time to face the judge. But he's going to be back in the courtroom on October the 7th. In the meantime, family and friends, they're focusing on the good times right now and all of the positive memories made with Stella over the years. But once again, that candlelight vigil is going to be happening at 7. We're going to have what exactly takes place inside at 11 p.m. In Clinton Township tonight, Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor, thanks for covering all that.
We are 1 day and 18 hours into this federal government shutdown. It's not clear when we can expect a return to normal. Definitely not today, since the Senate is off in honor of Yom Kippur. With furloughed government employees anxious about their jobs and their paychecks, Republicans and Democrats blame each other for the shutdown. Meanwhile, the president meets tomorrow with the budget director as the administration considers slashing Democratic priorities and possible mass layoffs for federal workers. No votes are scheduled in the Senate until tomorrow afternoon. Here at home, we're also waiting on a finalized state budget to be passed in Lansing. Both chambers could vote on the budget before the day is over. Right now, the state is running on a continuation budget through October 8th. That'll be next Wednesday. And when a budget is passed and signed by the governor, we will send a push alert on our Click on Detroit app. If you don't have it already, it is free to download in our app store. Just search WDIV.
Some great breaking news we're following here. It's a final in Cleveland. The Tigers have defeated the Cleveland Guardians 6-3 to win the best of 3 in this series.
How about that? They now advance to the ALDS against the Seattle Mariners. Hobie will have more coming up a little bit later in this broadcast in sports. In more news tonight, in Wayne County, a school just started classes, but parents fear it may be the last year for their students.
Yeah, we're talking about St. Martin Lutheran School for the Deaf in Dearborn, which uses American Sign Language in all of their subjects. This is a deaf school. Parents tell Local 4 this approach is undoubtedly the best way for their children to learn, and it could be taken away. Shante Passmore explains why the school may be closing for good.
I can tell you, after spending some time here at St. Martin Lutheran School for the Deaf, this is more than just a school. It's a lifeline for students who may not excel in a typical normal class setting. And after years of their parents fighting to find the right environment, it appears now they're fighting to keep their doors open here.
At 11, Sophia is a quick learner.
Say, I know how to do stuff. I'm pretty smart.
The potential always there, but not released when the student attended a nearby school district. This bright girl, born deaf.
They tried to teach her. They didn't tell me for a while until we had another IEP how behind she was. And she was so behind that she just wasn't having any kind of communication, and she was getting angry.
Only in kindergarten, Mom Christine Hernandez enrolled Sophia into St. Martin Lutheran School for the Deaf. It's a school within Emmanuel Lutheran School connected to the church.
So what's 1 + 2?
Paul Bearwolf is principal and teacher of Emmanuel Lutheran School.
St. Martin's is funded by Ephrata Lutheran Mission Society, and they were the prime drivers of bringing a teacher and interpreter to Emmanuel.
Officials say St. Martin's annual budget is at most $90,000. It primarily covers the salaries of the teacher and interpreter. Emmanuel Lutheran covers supplies. Currently, there are 5 students enrolled. To get the school back in the black, at least 5 more students would need to enroll.
So do you have school today? Yes.
Supporters say this is not just a preference. Some of the students could not sign, let alone read. Hernandez shares the same dream as any parent, to watch her child become independent.
Like, we're on track, and we're going to fall back, and we're not sure what we're going to do.
As you can imagine, there are not very many deaf schools in the state. There are some hard of hearing programs in the region, but parents tell me they're not the same. Sometimes American Sign Language is not used. Other times kids are assigned an interpreter, but we're told by these parents that interpreter doesn't actually teach the students. So the hope right now is that the school would see more students enroll here, but in the meantime, that people would want to step up and help. We're in Dearborn. I'm Shantae Passmore, Local 4.